Russian and Ukrainian forces recently swapped artillery around Huliaipole and polohy in southern Ukraine's Zaporizhia Oblast, 65 miles northeast of Russian-occupied Melitopol.
Artillery on artillery, counter-battery. Battles aren't uncommon as Russia's wider war on Ukraine grinds into its 10th month.
What's special about the December 9th artillery duel is what reportedly instigated it. According to Russian sources, the Ukrainian army is massing mechanized forces around Huliaipole.
If that's true, it could be a sign that Ukraine's fourth counter-offensive might be imminent, despite the onset of winter. This widely anticipated attack, the Zaporizhia left hook, would aim to liberate much of southern Ukraine and push Ukrainian troops all the way to the narrow neck of land connecting mainland Ukraine to the Crimean Peninsula, which Russian forces seized in 2014. Russian troops at present are thin on the ground in Zaporizhia. But then, so are Ukrainian troops. The sector along the Huliaipole-Polohy axis since this spring has been the haunt of separate brigade-size Russian and Ukrainian units. On the Russian side, the 291st Guards Motorized Rifle Regiment, which on paper has a couple thousand soldiers and scores of armored vehicles.
On the Ukrainian side, the 106th Territorial Defense Brigade, a lightly equipped formation with a few thousand volunteers from the local area. The 19th Separate Rifle Battalion, a 400-strong active army unit, reinforces the Territorial Brigade. Both sides have supporting artillery. Both sides harass the other. The Institute for the Study of War in Washington, D.C. on December 7 noted, routine artillery and missile strikes west of Huliaipole. It was these big guns and rockets that traded fire on December 9. The skirmish began when the movement of large mechanized forces of the armed forces of Ukraine near the front was revealed by Russian intelligence. Igor Girkin, a pro-Russian separatist leader, wrote on social media. The intel prompted massive artillery strikes on enemy positions and near rear areas in the Huliaipole region, Girkin added. Ukrainian artillery in return struck Polohy. It's unclear what Ukrainian mechanized forces may have moved into Huliaipole in possible anticipation of an offensive toward Melitopol. The 65th Mechanized Brigade is nearby, as is the 1st Tank Brigade. A drive on Melitopol could require more than just a couple heavy brigades. Ukraine's previous counter-offensives, around Kyiv in March and then around Kharkiv and Kherson 6 months later, each involved at least half a dozen heavy brigades. To liberate Melitopol, then turn right and free southern Kherson Oblast on the left bank of the Dnipro River, a Ukrainian force would have to advance 200 miles and defeat a dozen or more Russian brigades and regiments. The Ukrainians already have made efforts to fix in place some of those Russian units, first by pushing to the Dnipro's right bank and then by landing special operations forces on the Kinburn Peninsula on the southern side of the river delta where the Dnipro empties into the Black Sea. But even if these forces can't risk moving to react to a possible Ukrainian attack northeast of Melitopol, they still would be in the path of that attack as it hooked toward the mouth of the Dnipro and the land bridge with Crimea. All that is to say, the Ukrainian armed forces will need to concentrate a lot of heavy forces in order for the Zaporizhia left hook to succeed. There's a good chance the Russians will see them coming together, and try to disrupt their assembly with artillery. Indeed, the spoiling bombardments may already have begun. But even if these forces can't risk moving to react to a possible Ukrainian attack northeast of Melitopol,